Ready?
I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to not the Twin Snakes Podcast. This is the Twin Towers Podcast because the other snake is not here right now, but I'm joined by a guy that I consider a brother, great man, friend of the show, but host of the show now, Mikey Blaze. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I've been really excited to do this, and I'm glad we got back in touch.
For sure. This isn't the first time you've been on the show. We have the legendary Alex Jones Frogs Are Gay episode that you made an appearance on with me and Carson.
Don't promote that.
Everyone should go back and take a look at that because it's good stuff. But yeah, on some no homo shit, it definitely... We just reconnected last week after not seeing each other for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, over a year and a half, probably.
Which is crazy. Like, we cannot let that happen. I think the world is a better place when the Twin Towers are erect and upright.
And I love the moniker Twin Towers. What are you, 6'2"?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah,
Twin Towers compared to
we're not
incel
that
Reddit
tall.
guys. Yeah, exactly.
But the person who gave us the name,
was it Crocker?
It was, yeah. And he was like 5'8", so
it works.
we were towers.
It's just one of those things that has stood the test of time, and plus it plays off the Twin Snakes perfectly.
Yes.
For the record, Carson, if you're seeing this by any chance, we're keeping your seat warm. You're always welcome back to jump in, but
I will give you the stare, even though you're not here.
I mean, we'll make it a triple threat contest for all I care, because I think that was one of the best episodes that went down in recorded history, and I don't think enough people watched it.
Meta trash.
So many good moments. It was just great. So I think definitely it's so weird trying to start off out of, like, because we were talking and just enjoying ourselves, and now we feel like we're presenting to like a classroom or something, but let's get into some shit. I think that the first thing to say is that the thing the world needs right now is obviously another podcast. Because there's not enough of them out there right now.
Yeah, not a lot of people think about doing this concept.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that bringing this to the table is something new and fresh. For the record, and I got the receipts to prove it, my first podcast I ever did was in 2011. Now, granted, I've probably done about 25 of them over the past 13 years, but EST since 2011, there's been Burning Bridges, there's been the Twin Snakes Pod, now there's the Twin Towers iteration of the Twin Snakes Pod. It's fucking sweltering up here, dude.
It's so hot.
I can't believe that you didn't wear shorts. That's insane. Buffalo is...
You ever see Albert Einstein wear a pair of shorts?
No. Maybe you're just a genius.
That's why I do it.
We turn the air off for the sound, and it is fucking hot as fuck up here, but we're just going to power through it. Because this is the heat wave. And everybody's talking about the heat wave. I got the heat advisory on my phone. You run into anybody, that's the first thing they say, oh, man, it's fucking hot out. And it is fucking hot out. But, I mean, this is my take on it, and you can agree or disagree. If you complain about shoveling and the snow and the driving and being inside, you're not allowed to complain about the heat. You got to pick a fucking side.
Yeah.
As hot as I fucking am, I don't give a fuck. I'll deal with it all day long.
Well, as like a man, I try not to get mad at either.
About the weather?
Yeah.
It's kind of a bitch move, right?
Well, it's just, it's like everyone complains.
About the weather.
Yes.
And it's kind of like the go-to topic that you talk about when you are having small talk with somebody.
Yeah.
So
it's
pretty warm
thing.
outside.
You come to a bar and it's like, hey, weather's looking bad out there. I hate that.
It's a very generic go-to
but
line.
It's an easy out.
For sure. I hate having to fake interest in that level of conversation.
Oh my god.
Somebody brings that up and it's it's not someone that I know that well where I can say dude, that's, I don't want to talk about the weather, but someone that maybe it's an older person or someone that you work with or whatever, and they bring up the weather and you kind of just have to go with the flow.
It's
and, jump into
imagine
that fake
if
combo.
Every time I came up to you for 20 years, I was like, that smells like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
It's what else is there to say?
Yeah.
We've done
Everything's
it all.
been said about
exactly. It. We all know it's hot. I mean, with that being said, we're on the second floor. We turned the fan off, so there's no air circulating. So it's going to get warm up in here. Hopefully, there's not any sort of open flame or grease fire that will lead to this place burning down like the Pink Flamingo did in Buffalo just a couple days ago. Now, people are going nuts over this pink thing.
What was their thing? The rib sandwich?
Steak sandwiches.
Steak sandwich.
So I believe, my theory is that fire was completely related to grease and steak sandwiches.
Absolutely.
There's no fucking question. Like, there's no way that was related to anything else. Like, I don't know. I've only been to that place a couple times, but I feel like they probably didn't clean their grill that well.
No, they probably only cleaned up when the health inspector came through.
Right, like right before, so they could stay open.
And then maybe like they had a buildup that no one saw.
Exactly.
That had to be why.
They probably didn't have proper ventilation or any shit like that. So, I mean, RIP to the pink. I think it's funny. I saw there was a video of people like grabbing bricks from the pink. People love the pink.
I know.
It has a lot of charm.
I never really liked it. But.
No, I mean, I've been there a couple times. Like, I have no specific memories there. It's not like a place that's near and dear to my heart, so I really could give a fuck. I'm sad that a business went down. Like, that's sad for the people who own it. But for all the rest of you goofballs who are, like, posting your memories, trying to grab some sympathy out of it, it's just funny when anything tragic happens or any event happens at all, it's like people have to, like, they have to somehow attach it to their own existence.
It goes back to like when the guy, anybody famous dies, and then like somebody posts a photo with them.
Right.
They met at a Comic-Con or something.
Exactly. Like I was involved with this too. Right. Like I'm experiencing more tragedy now because I really loved it there. But I guess it's a Buffalo fucking hotspot. A lot of people. I always heard stories about it. People.
It was always dead when I went in there.
It was never. I went there. I've probably been there like 3 times, and yeah, it was definitely not anything to write home about. I never got to try one of the legendary steak sandwiches.
Oh God.
So I mean, that's my bad, I guess. I'll never get one now.
Probably a good thing.
It's a bummer. Anytime there's a fucking fire, that's kind of scary because it's just, I don't know. Fire freaks me the fuck out.
What was that band that had a pyrotechnic?
Great White. Have you ever watched the video of that?
Yeah.
That is some chilling shit.
Yeah,
that goes up there with the beheading videos.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, like there's a part of that video where all the people are trapped at the exit and they're trying to get out, and there's so many people that it's like bottlenecked.
Yeah.
So they're like screaming and trying to get out, but there's too many people, so they're all getting crushed, and there's just like smoke billowing out.
And then you hear that people got trampled, and I'm always like, how did you get like someone walked on you? Like I feel like I wouldn't die from that.
Right. Like how does that end your life?
Yeah, but
the panic of a fire is something that's hard to even imagine. It's fucking scary. I remember there was a time when I was like really developing my anxiety issues that I have, and when I would go to concerts and shit, I would like double check for the exits and like make sure
every
because that's
place
fucking
I go.
scary, dude. You're in a place with so many fucking people, and it's just like it can get hairy real fucking
or
fast.
Someone pulls out like a gun.
Oh, dude, imagine that.
Yeah,
and that's not even like a crazy thought now.
No,
that shit happens all the fucking time.
Every time I went to Walmart last week, and every exit I was like eyeing up.
That's so scary.
Why should I have to do that?
You
at
shouldn't.
Walmart?
You shouldn't. We're lucky to. I mean, dude, there's not a worse situation I can imagine than like running into an actual tragic event like that, where you're at a venue, you're at a concert, you're having the time of your life, and then all of a sudden there's like a fire or a shooting, and now everyone's going nuts. Like that's like cinematic shit. Yeah. I wouldn't know what to do. I would be freaking the fuck out.
And I have really bad anxiety too. But
so do I.
Anytime something happens that's like serious, for some reason, I don't have anxiety.
No, you lock in.
Yeah, you lock in.
You lock
in.
Like,
okay, what am I going to do?
You go sicko mode.
I don't go like, oh no, I'm going to faint.
You don't start having a panic attack if there's a real problem. You have panic attacks from when it's not a real problem.
Yeah.
But you're making up a problem in your head.
That's so funny.
It's fucking crazy. But yeah, if you were in a real dire situation, I think that it would definitely, you would lock on and you would click into survival mode.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Fight or flight, and then you go to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's fucking hope to God that never happens.
Yeah.
Congrats are due. I forgot to put my jersey on. Honestly, it's too hot for any clothes gags.
Well, there's a Kyrie Irving.
Yes, there's a
Boston Celtics,
which makes no sense because Boston was facing Kyrie, so it's like.
And Kyrie's a nice Irish boy.
Absolutely, that's like a finals jersey. Like it's not a Boston jersey. It's like it represents the whole finals.
Yeah, it's not like ironed on. It's stitched.
Yeah, for sure. Hit up my eBay codeezie 4521 if you want to purchase that jersey. It's about $35, stitched. Size medium. Anyway,
I might buy that jersey from you now.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty cool.
$25, no shipping, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even kidding.
You can do customer pickup. So the Celtics won. I think the NBA sucks. What do you think about the NBA?
Well, here's how many players I can name on the Celtics: Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving.
He's on the Mavs.
Oh, well, fuck.
That's why it's funny because he's on the other
see,
team.
I don't even know.
You didn't know. Yeah, exactly.
Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown's on there.
Okay, and that's it.
Al Horford's on there. He's like
Al
48.
Horford?
Yeah, he's like 48 years old.
He's like the Julio. Who's that baseball player in the Braves that was like in there for 30 years?
I don't know, but he's
Julio
like
Franco.
That. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's like that. He's like a senior player.
Al Horford.
He's on the Boston Celtics. So the Celtics won. It's crazy because like the NHL and the NBA finals are going on, and it's so much different than the Super Bowl. Because, like, the Super Bowl is a fucking event. Everybody tunes in. Everybody watches that shit. It's, like, a big deal. Even if the game sucks.
Don't you think the series takes away from it?
It does, because there's not that urgency to see that one game. But at the same time, like, I know so few people. Like, I'm thinking, like, Ethan Randall. Aside from him, I don't know anybody else that, like, watches the NBA.
Well, the game caught up to Ethan Randall.
That's for sure. His flat feet definitely cut him down in his prime. Fact being, though, that basically... I tuned in for one of the games. I wanted to take a peek at it just to see if it was any good. It was fucking boring. It really was boring.
I didn't watch any of it.
The only slightly intriguing part of it, I guess, was that like Kyrie played for Boston. Now he's on the Mavs, and he's like playing in Boston, and Boston hates him. But that wasn't enough to pique my interest whatsoever. And I don't know, something about basketball, just like the amount of points they score. It's a lot of back and forth. Like it just gets repetitive. Like the sound of the ball bouncing, it just like it gets monotonous. It's just it doesn't have that like that pep for me to really.
There's no really splash plays.
No, I mean
when I was
a
really,
dunk maybe.
I was locked in when LeBron went back to like Cleveland.
See, that was exciting because that's like a storyline that everyone could follow, and you need something like that with basketball because it's just.
But then you'd watch and you'd be like, all right, LeBron, get the points. And then he'd just like muster his way to the rim and then get fouled and maybe make it.
All right, and that's not that exciting.
And it was like,
I don't want to watch somebody shoot free throws all day long.
Yeah, and then, Curry was great because he would just
That's true. He
anywhere.
So yeah,
insane.
That was like a weird, almost little interesting golden era, like that Warriors-Cavs rivalry thing that was going on. Now it was like Mavs and Celtics. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Right. I don't even feel like the Celtics are the best team. I don't even know.
I have no idea. But the weird thing is seeing, because I'm seeing it on Twitter, and we'll touch on this in a little bit, but like people dressed up in those plastic green derby hats and like shamrock sunglasses. Goofy Celtics guys, and it made me think of a time, because it's been a while since we've done any podcast, so a lot of shit has happened over the time period. You had a kid, for one thing to mention, which is insane. You're a father. Happy Father's
almost
Day.
3 years.
That's insane. And we had the 2021 Brady-led Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl, which was nuts for me, but it just... Looking at it now, and I know that I did my part, and I challenge anyone. Like when the Bills eventually win it, you'll do it too. But it's so weird to almost position yourself as if you won something.
Won.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in that weird fandom, like it comes off to me as like very childish.
It is.
And it's crazy. Yeah. It's something I would like to get out of my system. Like I said, when that happens to you, you're not going to be able to contain yourself, because you're going to feel this need, much like the Pink, kind of, to like relate it to yourself, and like this feeling to like prove that you've been a fan and indulge in the victory. But it's like,
imagine when the Bills win or the Sabres.
That's what I'm saying.
I've been here since day one.
Right. And that will be fun.
And I will cry.
Oh, of course. It'll be insane. Like even as not a diehard Bills fan, like I'll still be very much excited about the parade that will happen, and it'll be pandemonium here. Like I remember in Bruce Almighty, they parody like the Sabres winning, and the fucking whole city's on fire, and that's probably what'll happen.
Yeah,
I'd rather see the Sabres win, I think, than the Bills. Not rather, but I would root for and prefer, if I could pick one to happen first, I would pick the Sabres winning.
Same. I'm cool with the Bills just being good. I really don't care.
It's nice having them in that level where they're just consistently in the mix now, whereas before that was not the case. Yeah. We're in a new era, a new regime. But yeah, it's just kind of weird to watch. Like, it's such a weird thing for people to take joy and pride in something that has nothing to do with them. It's a similar thing almost with politics too. You'll hear people drop the wheeze, and become so aligned with someone that really they don't know.
Well, could you imagine if like your favorite band came out with a good song and you were like, you celebrated the song as if you wrote it with them?
Yeah. Right, it's a similar
that's
concept.
Kind of the same.
And it's weird because with bands, too, it almost works in the opposite way where, like, if you're, like, a diehard fan of a band and then they suddenly become popular where everybody likes them, you almost feel, like, resentful towards
Well, that's in 2007 that happened with the Sabres. Remember,
For sure. Yeah,
everyone was
everyone's going to
Mrs.
the Palace.
Pominville.
Oh, God, how annoying is that?
Oh, it made me... I was like, I've been here since 1996.
Right, so there's that feeling of, and I have that too, where Brady went to the Bucs, so now we have all these Patriots fans and all these people watching on a national level who are suddenly watching my team, and it's like, no, I'm the real Bucs fan.
Yeah,
you guys are like you fucking bandwagoners. I'm the real one. I went through the hard times, but it's like you don't get a reward for like liking a shitty team. No. Like, you're just wasting your time. You don't get like paid out. But yeah, you feel like, and again, it's one of those things where like you can't, no matter how hard you like a team and how hard you try to want them to win, they either just do or they don't. It has nothing to do with what you do, right? Like if it went to the best, most devoted fan base, then like Buffalo would be more in the mix and getting a shot at that shit. But it's like it has nothing to do with it. It's just lucky, really.
Who's your favorite WNBA team?
I wish I could name one, but the AT&T Astros or whatever the fuck they are.
The Indiana Fever, I think that's the one.
Chicago
Sky,
and I honestly cannot name another one. New York Liberty might be one.
Oh yeah.
So I've noticed this. I don't know if you've noticed this. I know you don't go on a lot of social media. I just started going back on about a week ago, and I'm ready to jump off already because I fucking had it. I can't take it. But one thing I've noticed is they are desperately trying to push the WNBA as a legitimate sporting event that we're going to take seriously and watch and be interested in. And no offense, but if we're not watching the NBA, if they can't push the NBA and make that interesting with those guys, there's very small chance that we're going to be tuning in for the WNBA.
If somebody asked me, like, who's your favorite WNBA player, I go, Lisa Leslie.
Right. That's one that actually...
what is that, from, like, 97?
Yeah, that's from way back in the day.
That's the only one I know.
That's funny because she's actually a person who, like, transcended... Like, she did cross over.
And she could dunk.
You got to give Lisa Leslie credit because she's one that everybody knew.
There was two... Oh, Diana Taurasi. She came
Right. She came from UConn, right?
All of them do.
So Caitlin Clark's the new big phenomenon, and... I don't know. I watched a few highlights. It's just goofy watching them dribble around and then like do layups. It's like you can't even reach the rim. Like the ball is tiny. Like they're all small.
Imagine a WNBA Jams video game.
They said they're going to end up making that.
It's just layups, but the ball's on fire.
Right, exactly. You can still heat up and shit.
I'm sorry. It sounds so mean.
It sounds crazy, but it's really goofy. It looks goofy. It's the same thing when you watch wrestling. Like there's been the whole genesis of the women's revolution in wrestling where they're, main eventing cards and things like that. But when you watch them like hit the ropes with less momentum and their slams have less momentum, it's just a physics thing. Yeah. Like it just doesn't have the same
and
impact.
They're little.
They're tiny. They're little, nice, cute little girls.
WCW, they would lower the ropes.
Yeah, sure.
To make people look taller.
Right.
It's like when
they should do that.
Yeah, for women's wrestling, a whole new ring crew comes out and puts because they look so small.
It's nuts that we have to. It's like everyone just has agreed to pretend that this is legit.
Yeah.
Like put it this way: if there was a basketball league where all the guys were 5'7", 5'8", 150 pounds, it would fucking tank.
Yeah.
Nobody would fucking watch it.
Absolutely.
If they used a smaller ball and none of them could dunk, it'd be like, why are they making this league?
I always forget about the smaller ball.
Yeah,
why?
the ball. Right. Why?
Was your hand smaller?
I guess that's it.
What about the players that are smaller than Brittany Griner, who's...
The ball being smaller is nuts because they don't make the hoop smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? Doesn't that go against, like, equality?
I might be able to ball out in the...
Dude, you can probably palm the ball. It's like the size of a fucking softball.
I have little hands.
It's like the size of a softball, dude. But the rim is giant.
It's the size of a softball.
They make the rims bigger. The rims are like those circus fucking Big Bertha rims at Skateland, dude. They're huge. But yeah, they use like a softball-sized basketball. They dribble it around. The 3-point line is closer. They have a 5-point line instead.
No way. All right.
It was weird because they were adding like this racial element to it because a bunch of players on Chicago, and of course it's Chicago, Chirac.
Angel Reese.
Yeah, there's a bunch of black girls on Chicago, and like they were like hard fouling Caitlin Clark, who looks like CM Punk from 2007.
Dude, she does, and she gets up after getting fouled, and she's like,
right. And they were like,
she did get
she got rocked, but they were adding like this weird like. There's always that like thug element. When people start saying thug, you know what they mean.
Yeah.
That was happening a little bit. So that's always entertaining to watch people talk about race in a very muted, non-obvious way and try and see if they can skirt their way around it. But I don't know. If I'm going to, like, if they make it where Caitlin Clark's like the hero and these like black girls on Chicago are the big villains and they're fucking trying to knock her out, that almost makes me want to take a peek, kind of. Like, let's see if she can survive the gauntlet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting little thing, but
she's like the Larry Bird of the WNBA. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I keep seeing like Dave Portnoy tweeting about the WNBA and several other big time guys like
no flop
tweeting about it as if they're really watching it. Yeah. It's like, dude, I know you're not fucking watching this.
You're only watching the clips.
There's no way. You're not fucking sitting back watching it. And if you are, you're doing it so that you can say that you watched it.
Yeah.
It's like it's
well, there's probably a deal worked out with like
Barstool. Where they're paying them out, to like promote it.
Any company like that puts out a tweet is doing it for a reason.
I would have to agree. I would venture to think that everybody promoting it is on the payroll on some fucking level.
And the NBA pays the WNBA's payroll.
Right, like if the NBA didn't pay for the league, it would just fold.
Yeah.
Because they don't make enough money.
Right, you could go see them at the Y.
That's the other thing, too, at the Y. So, like, that was always the big argument when, like, anytime World Cup season comes around, there's always that argument about, like, the pay gap between the men's and women's team.
Oh, my God.
And it's so simple to solve because it's just like, well, who brings in more revenue, right? And that's always...
Yeah, why would I get paid more than someone who brings more money
Like, if you work somewhere and like, let's say we're both sales guys... I bring in $500K worth of business and you bring in $100K, like I should get a bigger commission, right? Yeah. So it like works the same way. Like it really, if you break it down to that level, it really doesn't even have anything to do with gender. Like if the Women's World Cup drew on that level, they should make more money.
Do you ever hear the argument that women don't support women?
100%. And what girls do you know personally that watch the WNBA?
No, my fiance can't name a single athlete.
No, I mean they there's women don't want to watch women play sports. Neither do men. So it's just like there's really no target audience for it. I mean, sorry to be harsh like that, but it's just like I respect the fact that they play. Like, if they want to have a league and shit, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, they can play just like we can go play at Willow Park. And
they can meet us at Willow.
Exactly. We can dunk on them.
Chicago Sky, man.
It's no problem,
to Willow
dude.
Park.
Exactly. I'll face them anytime.
We'll get 3 others. We'll get Ethan Randall.
Sheezy will probably beat them, dude.
Not Sheezy.
No, we gotta have.
We gotta have a big.
He's probably
man.
the best.
I know he is.
He's probably the best player that we know.
Well, who's a big man we can use? Dom Fotier.
Oh yeah, we'll pull him out of retirement.
I can't no way to get a hold of him.
Fucking hilarious. I'm sure we can find him on Facebook, which is just a wasteland nowadays.
I don't have Facebook.
Good move. I jumped back on like a week ago, and I've been logging in like mainly to go in the BBG, the Bring Back group, and also just to like see what's going on because I haven't been on there in so long. My profile was inactive. Facebook is a wasteland. But so is everything now. Like, Twitter's a wasteland because it's just nuts and nobody's on it. And then Instagram is just annoying because it's just people, like, flexing and people, like... I'm over it. I think we're, like, evolving past...
Yeah, I don't have Instagram either.
We're moving into a new realm of time where it's like we don't need that shit anymore. Like anytime I see somebody post something on Instagram that's like a very typical Instagram post, I'm like, dude, this is so like 2014 what you're doing here.
I don't need to have my shirt off.
Right. Like why are you doing this?
I'll post a picture of the sky with like leaves or something. Like that's where I'm at.
That's a cooler thing, I think.
Like to like flex or like I've always hated people that like promote their kids.
Too much.
Yeah, not just at all. Yeah, too much. Because there's people that are like, I'm hanging with my kid, and you see the kid, and it's like
why your kid doesn't even know what you're doing.
Yeah,
like is your kid
for likes?
Is your kid okay
Yeah,
with like
it
being
worries
on.
me.
Like you shouldn't be like exploiting your kid.
There's
But people exploit everything for some type of likes. Like anytime there's some sort of social movement that's like the
Black Lives Matter. That
we remember it. Let's go.
Remember the black square?
Absolutely. Let's go 4 years ago. Okay, there was people posting black squares. There was people posting them holding signs at marches after George Floyd. I got news for you. None of that shit has gone away. Everything's the same now, but I don't see any of those people talking about racial equality, talking about George Floyd, talking about this, that, and the other. It's just like it was the chic thing to do at the time, the cause du jour of the moment. And now that it's moved on to something else, they're not with it. It's like if you were really down for the cause, if you were a freedom fighter, you'd be all about it 24/7.
Yeah, no.
And they totally weren't. And
It's
it
trendy.
it was so transparent, and it's fucking sickening.
You ever see? There's a nail place in Lockport in the plaza where Frankie's is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's called Trendy Nail Salon.
That's dope.
Like, come on,
That's
like,
fucking
try
dope.
a little harder. No, but you know, like usually it's like,
They're just saying outright, like they're just fucking calling it like it
This
is.
shit's trendy.
Trendy nail shop, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny.
I kind of fuck with that.
Well,
I
yeah,
might roll up.
straight to the point and blunt.
I've been looking for maybe getting another pedicure. Have you ever gotten a pedicure?
I have never. I don't even. I've never shown my feet.
Never shown my feet.
Probably not in like 20 years.
That's hilarious. I got one pedicure. I went with Kate to she took me and made me get a pedicure, and it was honestly amazing.
Is it weird?
It's a little weird because there's like an Asian lady like by your feet, like scrubbing your feet, and but it feels really good. And then they put like this, like, so your nails get all nice, and then they put like this like glossy finish on your nails that looks kind of like metrosexual, but it's like kind of cool. Like it was really relaxing, and it felt really good.
How long does it last? Until like
Probably like a week or two.
Okay.
It's not any. It doesn't last a long time.
Yeah, I'd never have an event to go to where I'm like
you
gonna
can only
show
go
my-
to a girl or go with a girl. That's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, but like after I'd have no reason. Like I'm just
Well,
gonna
if you're like showing off your toenails, then you're kind of crossing the sus line, in my opinion.
yeah.
So fuck it. Let's fucking talk about Donald Trump because I just think I want to. I just want to talk about him. I have this feeling that, and I noticed this last night when I thought about the fact that just Donald Trump was on Impulsive, and then you sent me that thing that Jano said too, where it looked like he was maybe
towing the line,
not hating Trump. Right. It's like, is something happening right now where Trump is becoming like cool?
Absolutely.
Because even my reaction, like I texted you the other day and I was like, hey, I watched this fucking rally and this guy's fucking hilarious. And I've always pretty much thought he was hilarious, but it's like, I'm feeling like, think about it. Let's rewind to 2020. Logan Paul would never fucking have Trump on his podcast.
No, remember he did that big speech.
Anti-Trump.
Yeah.
Like if you had Trump on your podcast, that's like career fucking suicide. So something has definitely happened over the last 4 years where you can do that now and it's not a big deal. What I hope is that Trump isn't going to become like where all the fucking goofballs like him now.
Yeah, I'm worried about
Because that could
too.
go that way.
But there's no, like, for Biden, like, if you see a Biden supporter, it's like, why? And then they'll
even
give
see
you,
those.
like, reasons, but you,
Right.
you won't, you'll just be like, eh.
With Biden, I feel like he got basically elected just because they didn't want Trump. Like, it was more about Trump than Biden. It's
Biden
just
got 81 million votes, the most in history.
Did he really?
Yes.
And I think that's all a result of anti-Trump. That was all people saying, fuck Trump. We cannot have another Trump. We do not want another Trump. Even in this situation that we're in right now talking about this, there's still that hesitance of me to like endorse Trump. Because what I don't want, as funny as I think he is, and I'm not political by any means. I don't give a fuck. I've never voted. I probably never will. I do not give a single fuck. I really just don't. But the thing about it is like I don't want to be associated with all the fucking idiots who do like him. But at the same time, I would never ride with Biden for the same reason. Because there's just as many fucking idiots, in my opinion.
Who are the worst idiots?
I don't know. Like, I feel like either way, I don't know. I just feel like to get involved on the level where you're actually even picking a side is crazy. Like for me, I like to just like, I almost consider it where like I'm just in the crowd watching a spectacle.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm just rooting for crazy, funny shit
Trump's
to happen.
more entertaining
Way
than Biden.
more. Like if Trump's in office, funnier, crazier.
Dude, he
shit
was
will happen.
tweeting about North Korea like Little Rocket Man.
Exactly. Like that's
And then he met him, and he was the first president to ever go into North Korea.
that's better.
Like, what kind of diplomacy is that?
Since Biden's been president, I've heard virtually nothing about anything.
Which is no news is good news.
I guess.
A lot of the time, I guess.
But like I do, if I'm gonna be inundated with any sort of political news or discourse, I want it to be entertaining and funny. I'm really keyed up for these debates, dude. Like I do.
Oh
think,
my God.
I think Trump is gonna fucking rock his ass,
dude.
Because it doesn't look like Biden even knows where he is. Whereas Trump is very coherent, very on the ball. Like he knows what he wants to say. He knows what he wants to do.
The stipulation match.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, Trump won't debate Biden. Well, he
They
wouldn't.
can't be sitting. It's
Unless they were standing.
It's a
Yeah.
last man standing match. They'll only do it if
And
he
that
stands.
is so petty and funny.
Right, which is hilarious.
Imagine if I knew you were like having trouble.
Walking around.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to him if he stands the whole
We cannot
time.
sit. That
How
cannot
fun!
happen.
I mean, that's so funny.
It's amazing. And so I appreciate that part of it. He is there's something about his look that drives me nuts. Like I don't know what he's doing. Like I don't know what the hair is. Like
There's like a mask going on with Biden. They say that there's like an
yeah.
actor that wears a mask. and
Biden looks like he's getting Botox.
I saw a rest in peace Joe Biden thing from like 3 years ago, and then like there's an actor playing him now that throws on a mask.
He looks like his face is looking very fake. But I think they got him like Adderalled
Did
up.
you ever see Trump go? Yeah, Biden said he'd take me out behind this barn or whatever, and then Trump goes, and starts throwing punches. He goes, I hit him right in that fake nose.
That's the shit. That's the shit that I love when he says the shit that people normally don't say. Like there were so many moments like that on whatever I watched where he just said it. Whereas like someone like Biden or any other candidate, they're so calculated with what they say, and I feel like Trump actually there's a genuineness and a rawness to him where he's just like he really, whether good or bad, whether people like it or not, he's going to say some crazy shit.
You remember you sent me a clip the other day about the ice rink in New York City?
Yeah, that was an amazing story.
Okay, so what the funny part is Trump goes, so I called the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just call the hockey team that's
that
right
was
down
nearby?
the road?
Right. No, he had to call the Canadian hockey team.
And that's such a good sales thing. It's like, oh, he called Canada because he wanted the experts, even
it's
though
even
all
better.
the arenas are the
Right.
same.
It's even better. It's even next level. Because, like, yes, sure, the Boston Bruins, they would know how to do a rink, but who would know even better than them? The Canadian
Yeah, the
fucking
rink's
team.
so much better.
That would be even next level shit. So, I don't know. I don't think it's enough that will get me in the booth because I feel like New York's going to be blue. I don't think there's any way around that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if everybody thought like me, then yes, of course, nothing will change. But for me, it's like I still, as much as I will enjoy Trump and think he's fucking hilarious, I don't want to be involved and I don't want to be responsible.
Well, you know what Trump's trying to do? He's campaigning in all these states. I think, and I haven't heard this said before, I think he's trying to win the popular vote in that way because no Republican ever wins that.
Right.
So, well, maybe Reagan.
Right, okay.
But
and Reagan, my grandpa told me, I didn't know this, but he said Reagan was the last Republican to win New York as well.
yeah,
Is that true?
he won every state but one, I believe, against Michael Dukakis.
That's crazy.
In 1988, I want to say. Or 84. But anyways, I think Trump wants to win the popular vote. That way, if he loses the election, he can bitch about it.
Oh, he'll definitely want that. He'll definitely want to bitch
Because why
about
would
it.
you campaign in the Bronx? You know New
You
York.
know you're not going to... Right, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's like, you know you're not... But it's like, it's crazy because he still had a whole fucking rally of people that were down for the cause.
Yeah.
So it's like the people are there. They're just like spread out or whatever the fuck. I don't really know. I don't keep tabs on political shit whatsoever. But I do got to say... The election, 2020, I totally didn't give a fuck. 2016 was a fun one because it was Hillary versus Trump. So you got the first potential woman versus this just crazy. And that was a time when it seemed like it was for sure set in stone that Hillary Clinton was winning.
Because you'd be in jail.
I had no possible... I was giving Trump a 0% chance. It looked like a complete fallacy to me. And maybe that's just me not having a pulse on what was really going on.
No, you're not alone.
I mean, it looked like to me that it was set up...
I voted for Hillary.
There you go. It looked like it was set up where Trump was just like a waste of a guy because they knew Hillary was going to win. And when Trump won that night, it was like, oh my God. They're really going to have to go through with this.
You know what the best part is? Hillary was in a building that Trump owned, that it had a glass...
Yeah, he mentioned that,
the glass ceiling.
owning the glass ceiling. Yeah.
And then he
didn't work out for her.
Yeah,
he said
dude.
that,
He's such... Dude, he could roast.
He's good at roasting.
The teleprompter roast
that
about
was great.
Biden.
Yes, he's a great I mean, especially on the level of like when you talk about politicians, they're usually so calculated and in a box and weak and they don't say anything. And then he's out here just like throwing fucking fireballs at people. So it's like his level is so much crazier than everybody else. That's why I'm excited to like... If this last man standing debate thing happens, I'm excited to see like what it'll be
ref,
like.
I know. Real ref.
But it's just weird because I do sense this weird like cultural thing happening where it's like before you couldn't even say like Trump's name without feeling like I don't want anyone to think that I like him. Like I hope nobody thinks I like him.
Well,
like,
he made a good point, but I hate the guy.
Exactly. Like you had to come out and say that right away, which is really so stupid if you think about it. Like he's just a fucking dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, because again, for me, it's mostly ignorance. But what did he ever really do that was so hateable? I mean, grab him by the pussy, that was pretty nuts.
That's pretty funny, though.
It is funny. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know what's the funniest part? Is that he got caught saying that, like, right before the election, and then still won the election.
Yeah.
Like, you would think if you got
they called it locker room talk.
That's fucking
Which
insane.
I've been in locker rooms.
I've never said that. I've never.
But you've heard shitty
Oh, yeah.
things
Well, that's just the way guys talk about girls. If girls heard everything we said, we would all be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
None of them would like any of us. Like the shit that you'll find this on my channel, but I just recently had an interesting thing that happened to me where I was talking with my group chat of the boys, and I was talking to a girl at the same time, and the messages got mixed. And I ended up sending a message to the girl that was meant for the group chat, and it was very exposing and very... like, the way that we speak about things like that. Like, I gotta be honest, I would never say to grab anyone by the pussy. That thought would never enter my mind. But...
a comedian would, though.
You do say crazy shit about, like, their body. It just, like... shit that you don't want to know about. Like, you don't want to know what really goes on in the raw group chat. Trust me. You don't want to know. It's not good. For you. For us, it's funny. But when you're in the locker room environment or a guy environment, it's no hold barred.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
I mean, think about... Who's that wrestler? Like, X-Pac? 1, 2, 3 Kid? He used to, like, take a shit.
In like, Sonny's bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
worse than anything.
That's way worse. Imagine opening your gym bag and there's a steaming log in it.
Ugh.
Yeah, see, we're talking about the 90s now, so now we're going back to a whole different era of
references
pranks.
Are a little different.
Yeah, a whole different era of crazy shit, but yeah, I mean, it's just there's a certain level of confidentiality and comfortableness that you feel and expect when you're doing guy talk. You don't ever think you're going to be exposed, right? And you wouldn't want to be exposed because it's sick and fucking
it's
twisted.
It's like when those people catch these like child predators at like Walmart.
Right.
And then they like show them what they said.
Right. It's like they almost can't even believe
I didn't say that.
That they were saying that to kids and shit like that.
What was her age? She said 17. No, it says 13.
It says right here 12. It says it right fucking here.
And it's so funny because you like it's hard because you want to put yourself in like the person like how would I lie about
right? Like
this?
how would I react to the situation? But then at the same time, it's like, well, I never would be in it, right? So, like,
yeah.
I can't even hypothetically.
So you feel guilty about like
you already feel guilty about hypothetically sending messages that you would never send. The same thing happens to me when I say shit like with like Dalia and all the other people who've been like Me Too'd and shit like that. My style and approach system is very laid back and like I don't catcall girls. I don't like slap girls' asses. I barely even compliment girls. Like I barely even ask girls out. Like I don't like say things out loud that would make a girl uncomfortable. And it's not because I'm like this great guy and like this awesome human being. It's mainly because I'd be too embarrassed if it like went wrong.
Yeah.
So I just don't do shit like that. So like when I hear about people like sending these wacky DMs or like sending dick pics or like doing this crazy shit, it's almost like I almost feel the same way about that, where it's like I have this weird feeling like wondering how I would handle that, but then I have this like guilt of like what it would be like to get busted for something like that, because that would be my biggest fear. It's like if I was going to send a girl some wacky, outlandish shit, I would instantly be thinking like, well, what if she shows this to everybody at some point? I can't do this.
But like, if imagine being a teenager now.
Yeah, that's wild.
And
Wild
like,
West
you know,
shit.
you're linking up. You're 17, 18. And you're talking to like a girl and you're snapping back and forth, and then you go to school and the girl told everybody.
Oh man, is there anything worse?
Ooh.
I honestly feel bad for kids on some level today because they're dealing with that on a different level. I think like if you did something fucked up in school back in the day, like yeah, word got around. But like now, word would get around so fast. Like you could fuck up in 5th period, and by 6th period, everybody knows you're a fucking idiot at that point.
Ooh.
It's scary for you kids out there, man. Poor bastards. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's one of the drawbacks of. I think that kids kind of, me and Shufelt were talking about this when I linked up with him a couple weeks ago. Like, I think kids are getting robbed a certain innocence and enjoyability. Like, let's think about when we hung out when we were kids, all right? Like, let's go back to like the church hockey days when we would play street hockey at the church. We would all somehow meet up, like either it was through AOL Instant Messenger or we would call each other on the phone, figure out where we're going to meet. We'd all meet there, we'd all hang out, and then we would go do something together. At no point through any of that were we ever concerned with or even thought about what anyone else was doing. We were never concerned with showing everybody what we were doing. And it was such an organic, live in the moment type of fun.
Yeah. Everybody we wanted to know was there.
Yeah. And if they weren't, it was just like, all right, they're not there. Like it was never about like, we got to do this. And then we all got to like show everyone that we did this. And well, what's everybody else doing? Like, is there something better going on right now?
No, we were the ones that were shoehorning like oh, everyone's doing that. So everyone else, if they found out, they'd be like, that's the cool thing.
That's to jump on that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that there's got to be an element of that missing from the youth today because, like, I mean, you got to figure, we were online on AIM and shit, but to a much lesser degree, where we almost used AIM as, like, text messaging, basically.
Yeah.
But now it's like with Instagram and with Snapchat and with fucking Twitter and Facebook and all the other bullshit, TikTok and whatever the fuck else they're doing nowadays. There's just a lot of pressure to like have a persona and like always look like you have bullshit going on and like.
But you know what's even funnier is they'll use it the opposite way, and they'll do like, I don't do anything.
Yeah, right. They'll use it as like a sad sack story.
Yeah.
That's an awful move, by the way. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
You cannot.
I don't.
You don't get sympathy.
I want to see someone having fun, but I don't want them to overwhelm me if I were to ever hang out with them. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to the zoo today.
I don't want them trying so hard.
Yeah.
Ever with anything. Like,
but people have this natural energy about them. Some people can just do whatever. Some
people are naturally wild like that, and they just do all kinds of crazy shit. Some people, it's like they're putting on a show all the time, and there's like this disingenuous factor that really drives me fucking crazy. It's just, I do get the sense that a lot of times what we see now when people are doing things, it goes back to what you're talking about with after the George Floyd thing, when people were taking pictures, like holding signs and shit. Like, it's so much less about what they're really doing and what they're really living, and it's more about the perception of what they want to present.
Yeah.
And it's such a fake,
marketing,
vapid way to live. It's like, dude, you're not famous. Like, what do you have, like 500 followers?
Yeah.
Like, you're just a person that I know from high school.
There's
like,
people in Lockport that have like 2,000 followers.
It's like, dude, you're not famous. Like,
No, you're famous in not even.
Everybody's famous in Lockport. Who don't we know?
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
point.
Like, we know everybody knows everybody. So it's like, you don't have to act like you have to have a persona. Like, nobody expects anything from you. Nobody gives a fuck. It's like, I don't know. I'm at the point in my life where, I mean, granted, like I love uploading to my YouTube because it's generally seen by either people that I don't know or people that I didn't know they watched it, because I don't know who follows me on YouTube. But like uploading shit on the other networks, it just feels fucking cringe because I don't even want anybody to know what I'm doing.
YouTube's the GOAT, first of all.
YouTube's the greatest. I mean, if it wasn't for YouTube, I would have tapped out a long fucking time ago. YouTube is the basis on which you kind of, I mean, like, I don't have cable. I don't know if you don't have cable either, right?
No, all
so it's just
streaming
like
platforms.
That's your go-to, right? Like, that's just like your thing. Yeah, YouTube kind of carries now. Like, it took over everything, and I don't know. Like, that's the other weird part about the way things are now. It's like everything's so fragmented. Like, whereas before, when everybody was watching TV, watching cable and shit like that, it's like there'd be like big events that everybody watched and everybody would talk about. But now it's like everybody's so in their own lane doing their own bullshit.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Manifest today.
Right. Like,
and people do seasons. So like Ashley, for instance, if she starts a show, there's no stopping her.
Right, so just crush it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do the same thing. Like, if I'm going to watch
I'll sit there and I'll be like, dude, it's episode 5. I can't keep up. So I'll just go do my own thing.
It makes you think too, because it's like we weren't really meant to watch TV at all as human beings, but like we weren't really meant to like absorb a whole series in like a sitting.
Yeah.
On the same token, like when it comes back to YouTube and shit like that, I think about this all the time. Like when I was a kid, I remember there were times where I would tape the radio, right? Because there'd be like hit songs out, like fucking Santana and Rob Thomas would be out, and they would play it on Kiss 98.5, but I didn't have a way to listen to it. So I'd be listening to the radio, and I'd have a tape in the tape deck, and if it came on the radio, I'd record it so I could listen back to it again and again. Nowadays, obviously this goes without saying, but you can just get anything you want right away. Like, okay, you have a nostalgic thought. You miss watching Nickelodeon Guts. Go on YouTube. Guarantee they have every season of Guts.
I watched Rocko's Modern Life earlier today.
Bet they have all of it. Any song you think of, boom, you pull it up right away. Any show you think of, any interview you think of, any fucking thing that's ever happened that's ever been recorded, you can just pull it right away. And it was so much different when we couldn't, because it just made shit more special. Like when you have everything at your fingertips all the time and endless options, I feel like there's like a paralysis that comes with that, because you almost don't even know. It just there's a certain energy that's lost from that, where, I don't know, even something
you don't have to work for it.
Right. You put no effort in. Everything's just conveniently right there. Like if you go back to the days when there was like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster and shit, and a new game would come out, you go to the store to rent the fucking game, and it would be out
3 days or 5 days.
Or even a 1 day if it was brand new. Facing time, right? So you're fucking. I remember there's this one summer where I went to the Blockbuster that was in Tops. There was a weird random Blockbuster in Tops for a little while. I went there to rent NHL 2001 on PS2. And it took me like 4 fucking months to get it, because every time I would go there, they only had one copy. Every time I would go there, it'd be gone. And I would rush to the case. I'd see the case, and there'd be nothing behind it. I'd be like, oh, fuck. The fucking day that I walked in and it was there was the most fucking lit, craziest. Like, I remember the feeling of adrenaline, dude, just like seeing it there and being able to play it. Whereas now, anything that comes out, you just download it on your fucking PS5 or PS4 or
Yeah,
whatever.
I could get it on my phone
Instantly.
Yeah.
No waiting,
What
no
was
wanting.
that game? I think before we actually met each other, we did a tournament at Hollywood Video.
NFL
And I
Street.
think you beat me. And
Really?
I got really pissed because I thought that you were screen peeking.
Fuck, dude. I don't remember that. I don't remember
You don't remember that
I don't
at all?
remember playing you.
It was
at
you
all.
and I in the finals, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I played in a bunch
Do
of
you
tournaments.
remember the tournament?
I played in a bunch of tournaments there.
Because
So I do remember some of them.
I remember you from before I even knew you, and I was like, this kid's screen peeking.
That's
me,
crazy.
bro.
And I never screen peek, by the way. That's not something I do. I don't fucking
Admit
do.
it now,
No,
man.
I do. I do not. Hand
It's
on
hard
the
to
fucking
even
Bible.
like because everything. It's like 4 plays and they're blinking anyway. So I get it now, but I remember leaving like that kid.
Are you sure that was me?
I know it was you.
That's crazy. So I don't think
Did you win it?
I won. The only tournament I ever won at Game Crazy was the NFL Street original tourney.
That was you beat me.
That's nuts because I didn't even know
I
that
thought I
you
brought that
were
up to you before.
No, I didn't even know that you were you. at
Yeah,
that
I
time.
made it to the finals. I couldn't believe it, and then I faced this guy.
Wow.
And he screen peeked me.
I did win that tourney. So yeah, if that was the one, then we definitely.
How would I come out with that out of nowhere?
No, yeah, I don't think you're making it up. I just think it's so nuts because we've never talked about that, and also I never knew that was you.
Yeah, it was
I
me.
knew I won it, but I never knew that was you.
Yeah, you beat me.
Fuck, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's game
I was
crazy.
Ready for my. Remember those little screens and the little controller?
Yeah, they had really small screens
Yeah.
there, like stations where you'd play at. Even something like that is so cool. Like, there's that picture of us. I wish I could find the picture, dude. You know what sucks is like MySpace got like deleted.
I can't find any of my old.
None of the
photos.
photos are.
Yeah.
They didn't last, and I never saved them all. But
And
there
I
was-
don't have my login from.
Fuck
20
no. I don't even think you can log in. I think all the profiles got deleted. But there was a picture of me, you, and Jano at the front of the line at Game Crazy.
No way.
Waiting for Madden. Yeah, we're all at the very front of the line. Everyone that pre-ordered it showed up that day, and it's all of us like going like this. And the fat guy from Game Crazy took the picture, and we're the first ones in line to get Madden at midnight. It's such a good picture, and we'll never have it again. Like, we'll never be able to get that photo
We'll
again.
have to recreate it.
Yeah, I know. I wish.
Is Game Crazy even a thing anymore?
Fuck no. It's like a LensWorks place or something.
Every video game thing is like. I think this is going to be true with car salesmen too. I think everyone's going to start going online.
Yeah, probably. Everything's
All
going to
these
go that
companies are
fucking
gonna
way.
just be, oof.
Because, I mean, even I was talking to Jimmy the other day, and he was like talking about taking out ads for his fucking paint place, and like he took out an ad and put it in the Lockport fucking Saver like print
who
ad.
reads that?
It's like, dude, nobody's reading that. Like, you have to have a fucking website and shit.
The
Like-
last time someone read that, it was Jano, and he had a seizure immediately after.
Of course,
I'm
that's
not
what
kidding.
he does.
And sorry, Jano, I love you.
Right, he was on Salvia
But
Debonorum.
You were reading the paper before your seizure.
This Lockport Saver, but it's like, yeah, dude, like things have moved away. Like, I'm surprised they even still print those. Like, what a waste of trees. To me,
Yeah,
if I
right.
fucking go in my mailbox and see the Lockport Saver, it goes right in the trash.
I get mad when I get any mail.
Me too. How do they have my fucking address to like send me all this
Yeah,
bullshit?
Just text me.
I go out there and my mailbox is full of shit. Like the Auto Trader, the fucking
Yeah, it's not 1970.
It's like, dude, I don't want this. Like, don't take me off. Unsubscribe.
Right, and yeah, you're wasting shit.
It's fucking lame.
That's funny. I'm gonna complain to the city next time they send me.
Yeah, we need to go to a town hall.
Oh my god, I got a bill in the mail the other day from Pennsylvania.
Really? What for?
So you don't have to pay for tolls anymore. Apparently, they just take.
They got
a
rid
picture.
of cash finally.
They take a picture
and then you
they
pay for it
send
later.
You a bill.
Yes, yep, you pay
And
for
I
it
was
later.
like, why the fuck are they sending me a toll?
From when you went and picked up Jano, probably.
And now I don't want to, but now if I don't, even though it's 17,
You'll get like a ticket or
or
something.
my license
something
will be
cheap.
suspended.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's
I
fucked
hate
up,
it.
dude. Cash is going by the wayside. Everything's fucking going by the wayside. It's fucking over.
I hate it.
Did you see Steve-O got a tattoo of a dick on his face?
I didn't see that, but
Dude, so basically, he had Post Malone, like, do a tattoo of a dick. This is what we need to do, okay? This is what we need to do. All of us, combined, all of society, this is what we need to do. When someone does something like that, and I know I just broke the rule, but it's not a rule yet, all of us on Earth need to not talk about it. Do not share a story of it. Do not post it on TMZ. Don't like his Instagram. Don't share it. Don't talk about it with your friends. Whenever someone does something that specifically meant to drive engagement and get clout. All of us, by this point in 2024, should have the wherewithal and insight to ignore it and not give them what they want.
Exactly.
Imagine if Steve-O got a tattoo of a dick on his face and no one talked about it.
That would be
the greatest
amazing.
fucking thing of all time.
Yeah, I got this. I can't stand
It looks so stupid.
static electricity voice.
Yeah, it really is.
How can anyone listen to his podcast?
Raspy, like, you know that shit that like you pull when you pull out the ceiling. There's like that pink shit.
Yeah,
It's not like lining his throat. He's fucking like. In Post Malone, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, what's
you
up
can't tattoo a dick on somebody's face. You can't do that. That's not something that you can do.
Speaking of Post Malone, he went straight country.
Post Malone's a straight.
And so did MGK. Well, not straight, but MGK.
MGK went straight. Is he really?
Yeah, he put
Nothing Nowhere is doing country too. I bet there must be a country wave.
Well, it's like the white rapper. I mean, think about like Tim McGraw and Nelly back 20 years ago.
And you know what's crazy about it too is like country music still sells. Like there's country fans in the South who like literally like buy CDs.
That's insane.
And they like stream. So like these guys are probably thinking like, well, nobody's fucking paying for music anymore. Like, what if I just go country? I'm sure I can sell way fucking more.
It's marketing.
It's fucking goofy, dude. I'm so
like
sick of
I
everybody.
thought about it. I'm like, once I'm too old to even like try to write music, I'm just
never too old to do country.
You're never too old.
If anything, you're too young.
Yeah, you can be 60 and put out a new country album and it'll hit.
I'm so fucking sick of everyone's money-making schemes.
Everyone
really
has
on
them.
my nerve. It's so fucking annoying. It's so transparent. I'm just so tired of it. Because, like, we're so savvy now. Like, we've been on the internet for so long, and we've been viewing this all happen. So we know when someone's fucking with us and trying to sell us some bullshit. So it's like, you're not fooling anybody with your ad styles anymore. We all know. And I'm just
it just breaks out. Imagine if right now we just went, hey, man.
Right.
Labatt Blue's been one of the best things that ever happened.
Tastiest. Yeah, it's just like, dude.
Yeah, and we're not trying to sell you a product here, but we do recommend.
But it is the greatest. And it is available now at
and then
all
there's
stores.
a cheap cut where it's like, yeah, and then we send my boss right back.
Right, goes right back to what we were talking about.
Oh, that's the Logan Paul.
I've had it. Those two are the worst. Those two are the fucking worst. I didn't even know about Jake Paul's new deodorant brand, which is available in Walmarts everywhere. It's like, dude, those guys, that was like their end goal was to get a product in Walmart. Like, that's like the ultimate scummy.
But it's like, don't you have enough money?
Right. Why do you need more? Why do you?
If I had $100 million, well, I don't know how much they have. Say I had 20 mil, I'd be like, I'm good.
And they have.
I don't need to do anything else.
They have so many like ongoing revenue streams already. They don't need W. They don't need it. Jake Paul doesn't need to have deodorant in Walmart. He doesn't fucking need it. But he does it anyway. And it's like, dude, just when I start liking these guys again, they do something fucked up where it's like...
Well, Logan would be suicidal if he didn't have, like, money coming. If he retired now, he'd be dead in 5 years.
And it's insane because, like, Prime is everywhere. You can't go anywhere without seeing Prime.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I tried it once. I didn't fucking like it. You know what really bugs me the most of anything Prime involved? There's now on the WWE ring, every show they do, a Prime bottle in the center of the fucking canvas.
That's insane. They like caved to him.
Isn't that fucked up? Like that used to be sacred fucking. And there's one on the turnbuckles too, the top turnbuckle.
Well, yeah, I guess, but ads are becoming more of a thing. Like, you know how in the NHL, like the helmets now have ads on them?
And I hate that, but they've been slowly implementing that into everything. But to see the canvas have a Prime bottle on it,
a special
it's like
canvas.
Logan. It's like Logan's not even like signed to them. It's like they're signed to Logan.
Yeah.
Like Logan's like taking the WWE for a ride.
Yeah.
And like helping them out.
Well, he definitely works some things out in his contract.
For sure.
So
yeah. He's still allowed to do whatever he wants. He still gets, the Prime. It's just.
But can I ask you, who do you think wins in a boxing match?
Jake.
Yeah, same.
I think Jake beats Logan, and I think
brutally.
I think Logan is so insanely jealous of Jake that it's like palpable. Like, because Logan's doing the WWE thing, and he's by the way really fucking good at it, and also like he's almost like born for it because he's such a naturally charismatic, naturally athletic, natural heat-seeking magnet type of guy, and he's so good at it. But I know in his mind that he cannot reconcile the fact that he does fake fights and Jake does real fights.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be tough.
He has big brother syndrome. Imagine if you and Carson were both boxers.
Right. And to be honest with you,
you are a boxer, but
was a boxer. But if me and Carson were both fighters and he did boxing and I did WWE, I would be happy that I'm doing WWE. Like I would think it's so cool that I'm the US champion and all this shit. But I know Logan, he didn't grow up a pro wrestling fan. No. So he doesn't look at it that way. Like that's a way for him to make money. But in his mind, it's lesser than because it's fucking fake.
I'd love a tag team.
That would be amazing.
Did you see Uncle Howdy's debut?
Yeah, I saw that. I think that
left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, and I mean, should you really be doing that? I mean, Bray Wyatt's legitimately dead. Like, we don't know if he wanted this, or maybe he did. Maybe he said that he wanted that to happen. Man, that's cool. But
I bet they had to talk that guy or Bo Dallas, whatever his real name is.
And of course he's going to be down for it. Like he hasn't worked on TV in forever. I don't watch Raw anymore. I don't watch regularly. I knew that once Cody won, Cody Rhodes, that is, not Cody Butler. I knew that once he won the title, that things would dip because it's always more fun to watch the chase than the face be champion. Like the face being the actual champion is kind of boring. The face going after the top dog villain, Roman, that's exciting, right? Because you can stack the odds against
him. And then
him.
get screwed over out of your belt.
Exactly. So they're going to have to move that over to a heel again at some point, but I just think that, I don't know. I'm not engaged to it on the level anymore. Like I go up and down with wrestling. Sometimes I'm super into it. Sometimes I don't really fuck with it at all. But it's just so different now, man. It's like just like everything else, really. It's just so corporate and like clean now, and just
there's no
edge to it.
There's no
kayfabe at all.
Yeah,
like I don't want to watch. Like this is another thing that bugs me too. It's like I know he's done now, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But like I don't want to watch The Undertaker have a fucking podcast.
Yeah,
I just don't want to do that. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I ribbed this guy.
It's like, dude, I don't want to. You were so cool about keeping the mystique and shit. It's like I don't want to watch you sit down with Tony Hinchcliffe and fucking fuck around.
So who was your worst opponent? And then he's
that was the other thing too. Back in the day with like celebs, like let's take someone like Eminem. So Eminem, let's go to like year 2000. He was Eminem, right? He's Slim Shady. You see him on MTV. You see him on TRL. You hear him on the radio. That's it. That's all you get.
You don't have social media posts.
So he's like a character, and he has mystique, and there's something special about him. Because whenever you see him, it's like, oh my God, it's Eminem. I never see him. Now, everybody is doing so much shit that it's like overexposure. It's like nobody's special. Nobody stands out. Like the only big stars I can think of, pop culture-wise, are like Taylor Swift, and maybe like...
Yeah, yes.
I don't even know who else. I mean, she's like the only one, and that's because she's like a
Drake.
She's like a cult leader, yeah, and Drake. I mean, if Taylor Swift didn't have the flocks of female fans, but I do give her that respect. Like it's nice having someone like that out there because like when we were growing up, you had fucking Michael Jackson and fucking Eminem and everybody. They were all stars, like Britney Spears and. They all were stars. Yeah. But when you make everyone the same, where everyone's doing podcasts and everyone's doing tweets all the time, it's like you got to go away for me to miss you, right?
Yeah,
so,
the mystique is the best part.
Like someone like Shane Gillis, like there's no mystique there. Like I don't like fat guys that wear Notre Dame shirts. I just don't like them.
And he can't grow like facial hair.
Right. It's like, dude, you're not a cool guy.
You're nerdy to me.
Like if you were around us at like the bar and you weren't Shane Gillis, if you were just a guy, like we wouldn't like you. No. We wouldn't think you're funny.
We'd be like, who's this fat fuck?
Who's this like corny, nerdy guy with anyone who wears Notre Dame polos, I'm out on.
Don't go to Groff's in Lockport because that's all they wear.
That's true, yeah. That's why I never went there, but too much Notre Dame.
It's like the comedy isn't funny.
What bugs me about Shane Gillis is like he's seen as like the champion of like the edgelords, but he's like not.
But why? Because he's like, oh, I played football. I do football jokes.
You're like you're not. He's not an edgy guy. Like he doesn't.
And
like
he knows nothing about U.S. history, but like he'll present it to people like. Oh, yeah, John Adams was the second president.
Does he do that shit, too?
Yeah, and then, like, Joe Rogan will be like, oh, how'd you know that? And it's like, well, ask Shane about
it's
U.S.
just a
history.
random factoid.
He just does that stuff where it's like, yeah, World War II was amazing, and then General Wilhelm did this, and then people are like, wow, he knows a lot about the war.
Oh, wow.
But he doesn't.
He's just a sloppy fat guy. If we hate Bert Kreischer, why don't we hate Shane?
Oh, I don't even consider Bert Kreischer. Like, to me, he's poorer than I am. And I'm
makes a
pretty
lot of
fucking
sense.
poor.
That makes a lot of sense, though. Like, he's
Like, him
trash.
and Segura. Like,
They're trash.
Yeah,
I
they're
loved
so
them.
bad.
I loved them bombing at the Brady roast.
And who likes them? Do you know anyone who likes those
No,
people?
I remember Josh when he came over here the one day. The guy who lives across the street.
Not Beausoleil.
He said that he had just gone to a Segura concert, and we were like watching Red Bar roasting Segura, and it was kind of awkward because it was like, yeah, we hate him. You obviously like him. You went to see him, but you gotta remember, like, if you don't know, and you haven't been like indoctrinated yet on the whole like shit, then like you're just an average person, and you think these guys are funny, and you just go.
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
Like, if you don't know, then you don't know. Like, it's not until you get to see their schemes and what they're up to.
I feel like he has like less time to look into things.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
he's busy. He's probably
right.
a busy guy, But like, we can sit there and be like, oh, and like investigate. And
absolutely.
stuff. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, back to Shane. Just, it bugs me that he's like, when he did SNL, like, everyone thought that was like a huge win for like free
the
speech.
hosting of it.
It's like, dude, this guy's not like. One day my brother came over here and like showed me a bunch of his skits, like his Gillian Keeves skits, and like I felt weird because like my brother obviously thought they were great, and I did not think they were funny. They were like white boy versions of like old Key and Peele skits, like SNL style, where like you get the joke in the first 10 seconds, and then it's just pounding that concept over and over and over. It's just like, and this guy is like a skit guy. Like, he like dresses up and like does filmed skits.
He does the Trump.
Like, if we did skits, we would think that was fucking gay, wouldn't
Yeah,
we? We
right.
wouldn't like that. We wouldn't be fans of that. So like, doing skits is not cool.
Most comedians are like nerdy.
They're not cool guys.
Yeah, they're pretty much all nerdy. I can't name one that's cool.
Patrice was cool.
Yeah, but because he was like
Patrice was cool, and he died before he could get uncool.
I used to like Jim Norton a lot.
I like Jim Norton a lot, but seeing him turn into a 2012 style YouTube vlogger has been fucking awful.
Doesn't he have like a trans wife?
Yes, his wife's a guy, and he has like a channel with like clickbaity screenshots, like he's like Jake Paul in 2016. It's like, dude, I don't want to see Jim Norton do that. That's why, like, none of these people you can be loyal to, because they're eventually going to do something that you hate.
Yeah.
Like, even Bill Burr, who I was the most diehard fan of, like, I've had to watch him turn into kind of a fucking weirdo.
I don't drink anymore.
It's like, dude, like, and I get it, man. Like, I can't imagine the pressure of being, like, a top star in Hollywood. There's got to be a lot of people that you have to answer to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, guys like me are going to miss like 2011 Burr when he had nothing and nobody gave a fuck about him and he said whatever he wanted. Like, it's way cooler.
Women think being the hottest job in the world is being a mom.
All right, bending over, putting DVDs into DVD players.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
I mean, his old specials are fucking amazing, but it's like, once you get shit and once you're well known and once you have things to lose, you're fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, I have literally nothing to lose
once you
in
make
life
it to
right
the
now.
top,
So
everyone's
I
trying
can
to pull
do
you down.
anything. I can say whatever I want, do whatever the fuck I want. I have nothing to fucking lose. When you start getting shit, you start getting money, you start getting fans, you start getting movie deals, you're in Star Wars, you're in this, you're in that, you have to toe the line on some level because you can't lose that shit. If you don't have anything, you're never risking losing anything.
Yeah.
But you don't. I mean, what's better? Is it better to have shit and turn into a fucking weirdo, or is it better to just have nothing and there has to be a middle ground
just
somewhere?
kind of keep the ship
Right.
steady.
So I don't know. I think that
I think I'm gonna melt into this shit.
I know it's so fucking hot. It really is. We probably should wrap it up. I think we definitely. I mean, we came from nothing. We didn't even know what we were going to really do. We had a couple notes, and we just fucking let the ball roll. So I think the plan is just going to be put this together and let it exist and let it turn into whatever it turns into.
I think it was a good. I don't even
know what we talked about.
We talked about everything.
I think we hit everything.
Yeah. What? How long do you think it's been since we?
I have no idea. I can't even guess. If I had to guess, I would say like 80 minutes.
What?
You think too long?
I was thinking like a half hour.
I have no idea. I'm actually excited to check the
excited
time
to look,
I have
too.
no. I know that I have to piss so.
I have to
fucking
pee
bad.
so bad too.
It's
Go ahead,
crazy. So yeah, we gotta.
Let me do it first, so you could cut off, and I'll say my goodbye.
All right.
Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for being here, Mike. The Twin Towers, happy to represent, and we'll
do this once a week.
No
once
doubt.
a week if we can.
At least.
We're gonna go out to dinner now, and
Yeah, we're starving.
We're doing a Rogan type. Take the guest out to dinner.
A Rogan type vibe where we go out to eat afterwards and drunk drive. So yeah, I'll just do a brief little soliloquy. This has been something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. I've been itching to do this, so I'm glad I could finally sit down and make this happen. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I really don't give a fuck. I mean, it is what it is. It's just something. So if you took the time, if you watched it, if you spent some time, as always, please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more bullshit. And thank you so much for being here because, well, I don't know. I don't really know if you're there or not. But nonetheless, it's been fun. It feels good to be back in the saddle. And I'm looking forward to doing it again soon. So thank you for your time, and we'll catch you next time.